Good evening, Professor, classmates, and friends. Have you ever been in your sedan or SUV in the middle lane on the interstate with your windows rolled up tight, AC blasting, cruise set at 65, radio pumping out your favorite tune, and your mind on everything but driving? Have you ever looked in your rearview mirror and realized there was a truck tailgating you? Have you ever thought, how rude of this driver to ride my tail? Have you ever stopped to think of the difference in mechanics and or the lack of understanding between the difference in a car and an 18-wheeler truck? It is this lack of understanding and respect that has caused too many fatal accidents involving 18-wheelers and four-wheel vehicles in the U.S. There were approximately 33,000 fatal crashes in 2009. Of those 33,000 crashes, 40% of those crashes involved passenger vehicles. Large trucks only accounted for 8% of all vehicles involved in fatal crashes. Of that 8% of large vehicles involved, 75% of those accidents were caused or contributed to by smaller vehicles. And in most instances, smaller vehicles are driven by inexperienced drivers. In fact, 16 to 24-year-olds account for almost 25% of fatality accidents in the U.S. annually. This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The cause of all of these accidents is a lack of training, a lack of experience, a lack of understanding, and no respect for 18-wheelers. Most states require driver's ed for inexperienced teenage drivers to obtain their driver's licenses. However, only 2 states, New York and Washington State, require all drivers, regardless of age, to attend and obtain certification from a driving school that they completed their driving education hours. There are approximately 196 million drivers in the U.S. that have licenses. New York State accounts for over 11 million of those drivers, and Washington State accounts for over 4.5 million of those drivers. That equals over 180 million inexperienced and untrained drivers that still hold licenses in the United States. Most states don't offer proper experience or training. And looking at the South Carolina Driver's Manual, it is 7 chapters long, and it covers a wide variety of topics on safe driving. However, it only dedicates pages 51 and 52 to sharing the road with commercial motor vehicles safely. Yes, less than 2 pages were dedicated to instructing drivers on how they're supposed to react around larger vehicles. Another cause of accidents is lack of understanding. Most people don't know that the legal weight on a commercial motor vehicle or 18-wheeler is 80,000 pounds, 40 tons. However, some vehicles are permitted for up to 100,000 pounds and even more. The average car weighs only 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. What people don't know is that at 55 miles an hour, a truck weighing 80,000 pounds requires 200 yards to stop. That equates to the length of 2 football fields. That is 40% longer than the time it would take a car to stop. In addition to that, every 10 miles per hour over the speed limit that a truck travels, you need to add 100 yards of stopping time to get that vehicle to come to a complete stop. It all boils down to a lack of respect. 10 brakes work no better than 4. My solution is that the United States and every state needs to mandate truck ride-alongs, driver's education classes, and simulation classes for all drivers applying or reapplying for driving privileges, regardless of age. My suggestion is that all states should start early. The average driving age or age to obtain driving credentials in the U.S. is 16. However, there are states that allow drivers to get their credentials as early as 14, North Dakota being one of them. They should also require that all drivers do refresher courses before they're allowed to renew their driver's license. I believe this would greatly reduce the number of traffic accidents and fatalities between trucks and vehicles. Truck drivers have to sit in classes and do behind the wheel training for weeks, days, and hours so that they can obtain their licenses. If they must do it, then how come the driver of a normal vehicle shouldn't have to do it as well? Of any vehicle tailgating is unsafe. A truck tailgating your vehicle is not just unsafe, but it's illegal. But perhaps that 80,000-pound vehicle isn't tailgating you. Perhaps 65 miles an hour in a truck with 500 horsepower running 24-inch tires is not the same as is not the same as a vehicle running 65 miles an hour with only 200 horses under the hood and 16-inch tires. The only thing that drivers ask is when you see a truck approaching, respect them enough to pull to the right and let them pass. This tidbit could be enough to save your life, my life, or the life of some other stranger on the road. This solution is simple and easy, and I believe that it would fix the problem involving fatal accidents in 18-wheelers and 4-wheel vehicles. I hope that you have enjoyed my speech and gathered some great information from it. And I pray that from now on, when you see a large vehicle behind you, that you will move to the right and give them the right of way. Thank you and have a great night.